City won the treble, but will Declan Rice? Welcome back to another video. It's Friday. It's 10 past 4 p.m. We're talking Manchester City transfer rumours and all the usual stuff. Hello to everyone already here in the stream. Please do give this video a like if you don't mind. It helps support the channel. Subscribe to it while you're at it as well. You all good? Are you all well? Are you all wonderful? Looking forward to your weekends. What have you got planned and all the usual stuff? Say hello in the chat if you're watching this live as well. Who's in the chat? Two here. We've got Odin. We've got Mark. We've got Pred Hunter, we've got JM, Peter Williams, Peter Shepherd, Dave, Snooker Fan TV, Mark Harris, Louis, Jonas, Blue Moon, Pialda, Zed, and MCFC. Hello to you all, you beautiful people. So today we're going to talk about all the latest, and Jerry as well. Jerry, guys are saying we won the treble. I am never going to stop saying that ever. City won the treble. Oh, it sounds so sweet. It sounds so sweet. I have still got a bit of a cough, so I apologise entirely if I do cough during this. Just been ill since the parade. The parade genuinely made me ill. Here's a tip for you: do not wear wet clothes for hours on end and go out and scream your head off all night, because it makes you ill. It absolutely does make you ill, I promise you. But either way, City did win the treble. I am here, and we are talking about transfer rumours. And we're talking today about all the stuff that's going around, be it Declan Rice, be it Bernardo Silva, be it everyone else. There's so much going around in the world of Manchester City. And to me, it's really obvious that this City side is not one that's going to stand still. I've just noticed, you can see one of Ruben's toys in the background there. So, yeah, ignore that. That's a little kind of like water bed thing that Ruben plays with, and then there's a little cocoa melon block thing there. So this is life, isn't it? This is just life. For me these days, my office is just a mess of baby stuff. But of course, as well, the news. I've not even done a video about Kovacic as well. Not even done a video about Kovacic having a medical today, apparently. I didn't get a chance to because I was out earlier, but I will be talking about that. I will be going through all the news today. So I'm going to start initially with the Declan Rice talk. Declan Rice, according to many people, according to DiMarzio says City are in advanced talks to sign West Ham's Declan Rice. Sergio sees there saying, not believing this guy. Fair enough, but we're going to talk about it anyway, of course. There is loads of talk going around that City could be close to signing Declan Rice. We haven't seen anything yet from Ornstein or Fabrizio today. Ornstein, of course, and Fabrizio going big on City being in for it. There are some suggestions I've seen online that City haven't yet bid, and that maybe we weren't happy about the idea of it being linked. I don't know any news, by the way, so I've got no inside sources on this at all whatsoever. I know just what you guys know on this one, so I'm just chatting along and talking about this transfer. How do I feel about this? I do think this is legit, by the way. Well, I guess the way I see it is I do I feel like City would bid for Declan Rice if they hadn't been given the thumbs up from his agent and camp? No. City do not waste their time with players who are not interested in joining Manchester City. Having said that, you've only ever got to take a player at his word. Rice could say, yeah, I'm interested in joining Man City. But he could also be interested in joining Arsenal. And he could also be keeping his options open, because you never know what Arsenal could get a bid accepted or not. So I don't know if that necessarily means that he would join straight away, if that makes sense. But I do think there's an interest in there, generally speaking. But that doesn't mean he'll come to City, but it does mean there is enough for City to push forward a potential bid. But mainly, I would guess the situation right now is City trying to ascertain if this is actually something that's realistic. I don't know if it is, but the more I think about this, the more I actually think he could be I'm really excited for Man City. I do. I've written an article for esteemedcompany.com, which will be going live so the next half an hour or so. But I did a bit of a blog, and I wrote an article about why Declan Rice could be a really good fit for Manchester City Football Club. And I've talked myself into it, actually. I think the next evolution of this City side will be one that sort of builds on what we've seen so far this season. If we do sign him, we are going to be playing a double pivot, almost certainly. I think it'll be three at the back, not four at the back normally, but a double pivot. We've sort of, instead of a defender coming into midfield, I think the midfield will just be there, and it'll be a little bit more defensively sound. And I wouldn't be surprised if Rice is idolised for Guardiola because of that recovery pace, because of that athleticism, and because of that hunger as well, actually. One thing we forget is that this team is going to need a real injection of aggression and hunger and enthusiasm. It's going to need a will to win, because this City side could be a little bit unintentionally blasé. When you've reached the pinnacle, when you've climbed the highest mountains in football, once you're there and you've looked out and you've seen the world and you've stood on the shoulders of giants that this Manchester City side have done, there's a temptation then just to sit there, get back home, go on your sofa and go, That was great. That was great. Then where does the hunger come? If you've already climbed Everest, what's next? You need someone who wants to do it for the first time. And some people can get motivated to do it again and again and again, but not everyone can do. And I do wonder if a big part of Rice's appeal, if we get him, if he comes, inverted commas and all that, is not only just obviously his ability, he's a very good player, but I do wonder if his personality, his position, his infectious drive and hunger, his natural tendency to lead a team via that never say die English passion, the kind of passion that we all sort of mock England for having because it's a little bit too rudimentary at times. But I do think that actual passion and that inherent urge to win something for him and that desire and hunger could be a really attractive trait for Guardiola, because you need that sometimes. You do need that sometimes. Captains in a team are a good thing, especially ones that are all action in the middle of the pitch. They get you going. They get you going like Fernandinho did, you know? And I think the fact that, the way I see it, is the fact that we've got a player like Declan Rice who could come in. I think he gives Guardiola options. I think he gives Guardiola versatility. I think he gives him hunger and energy and drive and youth and enthusiasm. I know it's not 1980. Of course it isn't, mate. It isn't. But at the same time, a little bit of that is very useful every now and then. I guess the way I feel is that I'm trying to look at every possible angle where Guardiola would be like, what could I need here? What could I need? Who would bring in versatility? Who would bring in drive? Who would bring in new ideas? Who would actually come in as well and possibly allow for maybe Walker not being in the team? Because I think Walker's importance has got more and more prevalent in the post-Fernandinho era, because Walker's recovery pace and his ability to shut down transitions, even though Rice would be in a different position, Rodri's one weakness, I would say, is his recovery pace. And I think Rice would be better at that, as he would allow a little bit more freedom tactically, defensively maybe. I don't know if I'm right, but I think I'm trying to get into Guardiola's head here. But Jerry says, quite succinctly with the super chat, Jerry says, if Pep thinks he needs a player, that player more likely than not be good. Maybe it's childish, but in Pep we trust. Evidence. See treble. It doesn't get much more simple than that, does it really? None of us, like, the collective weight of all, how many people are watching this video? 200 of us are watching this video right now. We added all our football knowledge together, and he still doesn't scratch the surface of what Guardiola knows about football. Unless he's some genius. That's Pep's watching, you know? That's Pep's watching right now. But it doesn't. And ultimately, we have to bow down to superior knowledge and the superior planning that see Manchester City not just win a treble, win 5 out of the last 6 Premier League titles, gone for a three-peat, won 100 points, won the domestic quadruple, broken every record in English football. Like, this Manchester City side do things special because of Guardiola and because of his decision making. So in the end, like, people who are sat here moaning in the comments or online about a certain player, have you ever stopped to think that maybe you just aren't right? That maybe these geniuses see something that you don't? You know, is it possible that the next evolution of Manchester City could be something that we can't comprehend? And I think it could be, man. I think it could be. I have actually got a pop shield. Someone said, please get a pop shield. There we go. Why, is it a little bit too peaky? If it is peaky, sorry, I could, someone just mentioned it. Is it a bit too hot? If so, I'll just turn the mic down a little bit. Is that a bit better? Hopefully it won't be quite as hot then, but I should put that on there as well. But I'll attach it afterwards because it's too late now. But yeah, I don't know. I think there is something in this. I do think City are interested in Declan Rice. I start to see the idea the more I think about it. It isn't the sign that I would make instinctively. It isn't. But can I understand it logically? Yeah, I can do. I understand the appeal. I understand what's going on. I understand the idea behind this. Like, he isn't the one I would have signed. But at the same time, I think we look at Bellingham, and he's a little bit raw too, you know. I always thought Bellingham would need to improve a lot, but maybe a little bit better. Bellingham in terms of the technical ability. Well, he is better. But at the same time, Bellingham isn't proven at Premier League level. He's obviously good enough. I probably would have liked McAllister, maybe. But at the same time, everyone was like, oh, Koulibaly's the guy. Then when we didn't get him, everyone was like, oh, Koundé's the guy. when we didn't get him, everyone was like, "Oh, Ruben Diaz is crap." I remember people were calling him Ruben Diaz. Everyone moaning about him being our third choice, and now he's probably the most important player in this Manchester City side. He is the heart of this Manchester City side. And you do wonder if Guardiola looks like someone like Declan Rice and goes, well, maybe he could be the guy who does that too. Maybe we need that in midfield, Maybe this next evolution of this Manchester City side is going to be a three at the back, two holding midfielders, and then just absolute creative freedom up front with Foden and De Bruyne ahead and two wingers and 5 players who are allowed to get forward and do whatever they want. Because you've got that 5 at the back there. It's just solid. The 3 defenders and the 2. Something like that. I don't know. But the way I see it is that I just have to trust the bigger vision here. Trust that Guardiola sees something that we don't. And of course, there's also the news today. That apparently Kovacic is due to have a medical. This came from Jacob Steinberg today from The Guardian. Apparently, he's due to have a medical today, which is interesting. Mateo Kovacic, another smart signing, potentially. I would really like to see how he fits in this Manchester City side. I don't think he comes in to be like an immediate starter. He comes in to be an addition to this squad to improve the general strength of it, to offer something a little bit different, to maybe offer some of the experience and leadership. Or I say not leadership in such as a captain's, but more the know-how that Gundogan whole would lead, basically. I mean, Kovacic coming in for the money that it'd be is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I think he's an excellent player. Interestingly, there was a really good... I saw a little video clip of Declan Rice talking about the best midfielders he's played against, and the first one he mentioned was Mateo Kovacic. He says you don't realise how good he is until you have to play against him, and I mean that's very true of Kovacic. Kovacic, an elite ball carrier, incredibly hard to get the ball off, great technician, very Guardiola down to a T. A little bit to improve in the final third, but he will get there under Guardiola, and he'd be an excellent signing. Really safe bet of a player. I agree with Dara. Dara there saying Kovacic is an extremely safe bet of a player. He's already a Guardiola style player. Yeah, and he's cooked us a couple of times. He has, Killy. I agree. Tuchel obviously loves him. And Chelsea fans at one point did. He was their player of the season a couple of years back. I absolutely do rate Kovacic. He's got the ability. And to be honest, if he's played against this Manchester City side and starred, which he has done before, then yeah, he's got the balls, he's got the ability for it, and we know that about Kovacic. So it'd be a smart signing. This Kovacic, I like it an awful lot. I think there's a lot there, for this potential player. I agree with JM 1111, by the way. Says get the likes up. Please do hit the like button if you don't mind supporting the channel. 280 people watching, 60 likes. Come on, we can be better. It's not like this would be a rash transfer. It'd be a really smart one. I like it. There's been loads of news as well today. The news as well today from the aggregators is that Al Hilal are pushing hard to convince Bernardo to leave City, with the Saudi Pro League side having the budget to offer 75 million. That's not on screen right now. 75 million a season. 75 million wages a season. Wow. It's thought, according to, this is from Jack Gorn, so this is legit. It's thought apparently that he's a bit umming and ahhing about potentially doing this because for family reasons he wants to, and professional reasons he wants to be in Europe still. I actually think he wants to be. Is the stream lagging for you guys? It's saying excellent connection for me actually. If it's lagging, I am sorry, but all I'm getting is excellent connection. So YouTube's saying everything's perfect at my end. If it's lagging, I apologise, but definitely not your own internet. Sorry if so. But either way, Bernardo Silva is an interesting one. Bernardo. Look, to be honest, I would be devastated. Absolutely devastated. Charlie's saying if Bernardo goes to Saudi, it just throws everything what he's been saying for the last few years. I sort of agree with that, and also at the same time don't. The only thing I would say, when you're 29 years old and someone offers you £150 million for 2 years, I think Bernardo, I don't think he wants to go to Saudi. I actually don't think he does. But I think a small part of him would be like, but they're the only ones who can afford me. I get £150 million and then I go back home to Portugal as set for life and play there. And I think he would get only a 2-year contract, so he'd be free to move on a free transfer to Benfica or wherever he wants to go to afterwards. So I think it's a bit of a strange one because I think he'd probably... Look, with all due respect, I wouldn't like to live in Saudi Arabia. No offence. It's just nothing about that my worldview and my interests and my lifestyle are so different to that I would. In fact, I no, it's one of the places I would least likely to live, and it's just a personal thing, you know. The way I view the world is so different, you know, and it's just wouldn't be my thing. I would hate the climate for one. It's just not my thing. It'd be stuffy. It's little things. It's just not my kind of place I would love to live. I wouldn't love to live in Saudi Arabia. It's just not for me, and that is just a personal thing, given my interests, you know, and my worldview. But at the same time, if someone randomly offered me, I don't know, I earn an average wage here to make YouTube videos. If someone all of a sudden said, go and live in Saudi Arabia for a year and you'll earn £1 million, I'd be like, Nicola, we probably should do this. It's £1 million for a year, then come home. I understand it, even though I wouldn't want to. Would you just put up with it for a year? You'd be tempted to, because £1 million would change your life forever. I get it. I do love the Manchester rain. I love our rolling green countryside. I love the English lifestyle. I do, you know. I've not gone there, no, but I'm not. I am. It's just for me. It's like it's all the. I'm not a religious person at all. I like to drink. I'm a loud person. I like public displays of affection. I also like dogs, and I know dogs aren't a big thing there. I don't like the weather. I like small cottagey places like where I live in England. I like rolling countryside. And it's just very much everything about my lifestyle is the opposite, if that makes sense. So it doesn't necessarily appeal to me, you know. But that's fine. I don't have any interest in that. But that's fine. We're all very different people. Bernardo isn't short of money. That's the thing. So I'm interested to see what he thinks. But my general impression of Bernardo Silva, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong here, by the way, is that I feel like I'm quite similar people. I feel like we're quite similar people. I've seen when I go to do Manchester City shows, I park with the first team car park, and I noticed one day a Mini Countryman. I drive a Mini Countryman, and it literally it's one of those things where he has the same car. I thought, who's that Mini Countryman? Bernardo Silva has an old Mini Countryman. That's what he drives. Nothing fancy. He wears Birkenstocks, old Birkenstocks, like me. He dresses very similar. I've seen him go on holiday to the Scottish Highlands. Like, genuinely, I've seen him, like, instead of going to, I don't know, Dubai or whatever, I've seen him literally stay in a hotel in the Scottish Highlands, walking around the countryside. I think he's just got a very similar world view. Like, he's the kind of guy who, you know, it's just, I honestly feel, I've met him before, I feel like I just get along with him. He seems to be a quite intelligent bloke with a very interesting travel and so on, and he's not a flashy person. He just seems to be not that interested in money. Obviously, it comes with a job, but I don't get the impression. Any guy who drives a second-hand old Mini and wears old battered Birkenstocks around everywhere, he's not a fancy guy. So I could be reading it miles bit wrong, but I do wonder if Bernardo is like, I don't want to live in Saudi Arabia, but that money is tempting for a couple of years for his family. I get it. We'll see. Yeah, I like the greener hills in Rami. I like countryside and cottages and old man pubs and coffee shops, and I like it. I like rolling 2-hour walks, cutting through valleys and dancing through streams, and I don't know, walking past fields full of sheep. That's what I like, you know. I'm a green pastoral man at heart, you know. And I like the cold weather. I like a fresh country walk with mist. Like, that's just me, you know. But I'm very English down to a T that way, you know. Bernardo's the best, man. I'm gonna fucking miss Bernardo. I love Bernardo Silva. Absolutely love him. He's a great player, and I think he probably will go. But you're not the only one. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, it's just something about it. It's just home to me, you know. It's just home. I've never had the urge to live in a hot climate in my life ever. Never. I've never had the honesty. The thing is, even then, it's not like I want to, like, a country guy who want to go and shoot pheasants or whatever. Nah, I just want to put my walkie boots on and get muddy. You know what I mean? I agree, Unruly. Accrington, Red Brick, and Yorkshire Stone. Yeah, gorgeous, mate. It's a beautiful place, England. As much of all its flaws, I agree, England's a beautiful place. But I think, I always sometimes wonder with some footballers, like, you know, they all live in, like, nice apartments in the city centre. I do wonder with someone like Bernardo. Get him to Ramsbottom. Go and live, right? Go and live in a little beautiful cottage, half an hour outside Manchester. Live somewhere like that and see what if you like the isolation of the country hills. I bet some of them would love it, but they never think to do it. I really believe that. I think one or two of them would fall in love with taking the dog for walks around the fields. Well, good for you. It's like it's not my thing. But anyway, I digress. I'm talking nonsense here. But there's also that really interesting story from CF Bayern. It says Bayern Munich have Calvin Phillips on their shortlist. I was not expecting that to read that today. I don't know how true that is, but maybe they do. Maybe they do. But Calvin Phillips, if that's true, by the way. To me. It's the way I see it. If that's true, it shows the quality. Can you actually hear the birds in the background? By the way, can people hear the birds? I've really mentioned it. Yeah, outside, my windows are open. All I can hear is birds. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like, as you get older, you where are you bird spotting? No, but I've got more and more into it. I'm like, oh, what's that? It's a finch. What's that? It's so sad, but you can't help it as you get older. The simple things. If anyone's watching this young video now, he's like 16, 17, he's like, what's this old geezer laughing about? But trust me, as you get older, the one thing you appreciate as you get older, you start to notice the small things. You get into your mid-30s and you just get fascinated by birds and countryside and stuff. It does happen to all of you, I promise you. It does. Anyway. But the Phillips thing is a reminder that Calvin Phillips is actually a good player. You know, he wouldn't be in Bayern Munich shortlist for no reason. It wouldn't be. Honestly, he's a good player there, and I do think there's a potential future for him. Hopefully, still, he'll be at City. According to Simon Bukowski from the MEN, he said earlier that we haven't actually bid yet for Declan Rice, which is interesting. I don't know if we have or not. Maybe we haven't, but I'm sure we will do. And also, Simon did say we are planning to spend an awful lot of money covering the departure of Laporte. That would be Josko Vardiol, as we know. We'll see. And also, as you said there, this is talking what Bernardo said earlier. Bernardo's prioritising the sporting element of his next move, and that is to remain in Europe. However, I'm staring at my son right now, the size of the Saudi project often makes him sway. The City midfielder is analysing the pros and cons of moving to the Middle East. Little Ruben's up, by the way. And look what he's wearing. I just realised it's a coincidence. So basically, I'm gonna show it you. Ruben has a little bag of clothes that are his changing bag in case he makes a mess, when he's out. And he rarely gets changed into it. But for a while now, his backup clothing has been, that he finally made a mess of today, has been in a Steve Company top.
It's in the library. We had to...
He's got his daddy's logo on his t-shirt. His mum got me that for Christmas, was it? I don't know. Yeah. Oh, you just burp on the mic. My boy there for you. So, yeah, he's wearing a little Steve Company. How old was that? Look at that. Yeah. So basically, Nicola's going to Lucia. She dumped me in. But the way I see it is when you've got... Don't pull the mic out, little guy. When you've got someone like, Elway Jr. It's Elway. Yeah, he looks groggy. He's just woke up. Look at that outfit, man. Look at that fit. He's got leaves and bugs on his pants and then a Steam Company top. See, you needed a pop shield. Did need the pop shield. You're right, Rubes. He's groggy, mate. He's just woke up, haven't you? Fit is a 10 out of 10. It really is, man. It really is. Legs of a central defender. But I do feel Bernardo's probably really torn on this. He is getting big. Yeah, he really is. He's 8 months old now. I do feel like he's getting sort of torn on the idea of this Bernardo. You're making me laugh in the comments. Drip too hard. Look at that drip, man. Steam Company merch. What's he got on there? He's got leaves. He's got a little piggy on his butt there as well. He's got a crocodile. Something. I don't know what he's got. Yeah, look at that outfit. Got a little belly as well. You're right, look, Chunky. Poor little guy. He's just woke up and he's been thrust on camera. But your mummy's gone to the loo. You okay? You're right, little man. I'm gonna give him something to play with. Can I give him something to play with? 1 second. Hang on. All. There we go. Do you want a Cocoa Melon number 0? There we go. Do you want that? Do you want this, Ribs? Do you want this? There we go. That'll be in his mouth in a second. There we go. But we'll go back to the news. He's won a treble. He really has. Back to the news. Yeah, I think the Bernardo Silva prioritising sport at the moment is true. The thing is, the money would make anyone consider it, wouldn't it? It would do. He wants the cable. You can't have that cable, mate. The money would make everyone consider it, but at the same time, I don't feel that this is his ideal option. I do think he's a homely person. I do think he's a homely person. He wants to be closer to someone nice with his missus, but at the same time, somewhere closer to his hometown, Lisbon. I think it's that just who he is as a person. We will see. We will see. Apparently, the final decision will be made in a few weeks, so it's gone for a while. You can't have the mic, Roofs. Get your little hand off the mic. Your little he's pulling it towards him. You can't have that, mate. You got a number 0. I'm gonna have to wait. Unfortunately, that's the only frustrating thing about it is that it's gonna take a bit of time to work out when he's actually going to move. And I do think City are sort of torn between a couple of ideas here where they need to know who they need to sign or when they do it. But we'll have to wait. The money would be crazy, by the way, around 40 million a year. It's an awful lot of money. Awful lot of money. There's loads of money. So we'll have to see. Yeah, the Peroni thing to Jerome is a bit disappointing. I saw that too, Jake. He's a natural for the mic. Oh, he will be. Yeah, absolutely will be. Get a better chair, Steve. Oh, this chair's fine, man. It's a decent chair. It's like an old leather chair. I like it. The only thing is, of course, the time. Like waiting for all this to happen can be frustrating, and we will see. I think we'll see an aggressive Manchester City side that also just sort of kicks on. I don't think we're going to wait around too much. What are you doing? Are you looking under there? Well, I don't think he started doing that and noticing he can do that with his head, because he's got strength now. Like he looks around corners a lot more. Because previously they're just trying to keep the head up, but now he's like, "Oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do that." It's his new favourite thing to do, isn't it? Look under things, look around things. But I do think City will be a bit more aggressive in the transfer market. Imagine a summer of like Kovacic, Vardial, Rice, maybe a winger too if Mahrez goes. We'll have to be patient. We'll have to be patient. You gonna say hello to the mic? He's holding it, but I do think we will. Is he scratching that? Can you hear that? If so, I'm sorry. So, but is he walking yet? No, not quite. He's definitely trying to crawl. He said "mama" yesterday. He said "mama" first. He's not said "daddy" yet. Annoyingly, you banging the mic now. That's him smacking the table. Thanks, mate. Sky say we've done 75 plus 15. Is that actually true? What is that? A latest bit of breaking news there? I think it would be something around then. I do think the City are going to bid. I think, by the way, does anyone else? I just saw it again. I looked on Twitter then. I really like Mason Mount. I feel like everyone doesn't, but I think he's great. I think he's a really good player, being badly underutilised, and I think he's going to be a smart signing for United. I'm one of the only ones I know. Oh, here we go. This is interesting. You see this breaking news here? Breaking, the United States will host the first expanded 32-team FIFA Men's Club World Cup in 2025 featuring Man City. 12 of the 32 clubs will be from Europe, including the 2021-24 Champions League winners, plus 8 teams based on club rankings. That is mental. Oh, I would love to be out there for that. This guy would be... How old would you be then? You'd be about 3 years old then, so maybe you'd be actually tempted. I would love to go to that, man. That's a really interesting bit of news there. You gonna stand up, little man? You gonna stand up? I would be well excited for that tournament. I think that could be really, really fascinating. And it's going to be absolute overkill. Overkill in terms of like fixtures for the games. But did you say mum then? Did you guys hear that? Mum. Little boy. Oh. What are you saying? What are you saying? You say mum. 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 His little smile. Like his little smile, man. He's adorable, isn't he? Ooh, okay. So you're a fan of this? Are you a fan of this tournament or not? No. I'm yeah, probably will do, Sean. I agree. I'm really fascinated by the idea of this tournament in general. I think it could be really, really, really interesting. I know it's not ideal with fixture build-up, but it's sort. As long as it doesn't replace Champions League and the Premier League is fine, it's interesting for me. Ruben's interested. You want it, don't you, mate? Do you want it? Thanks for hitting the mic there. With he's got So he's got a little zero. That is how many Champions Leagues we had until he was born. Then he changed it all. What are you saying? Such a good little boy, honestly. Never moans. Oh, you little man. That'd be very nice from Rulli. Fingers crossed, mate. I hope I'm still doing this in 3 years, actually. Who knows, I will be. Gone for years. Oh, Alejandro. Nice. Thank you so much. He's trying to hit subscribe. Yeah, he is. He's trying to hit subscribe, little guy. He's staring at the screen. God, I tell you what, like, he doesn't sleep at all at the moment. We're exhausted, but he's the best thing in the world. So, in terms of, he just said, yeah, do you hear? He doesn't like the Club World Cup expansion.
Is he not?
No, he's not a fan of it at all. He's went, big words.
That's some big words for a tiny baby boy.
I'll be back once a wave, mate. There we go. There we go. It's you. He just saw himself on screen then, and he just said something. Bernardo's supposed to be extremely money orientated. I don't think he is, Mark. It seems the opposite for me, mate. It seems the opposite. I feel like he's actually just wants to be home closest to his family. Because if he was money orientated, he's probably at the place who would pay the best, other than the Saudis in the world. You know, like City will pay him pretty much as good as anyone. You know, what are you doing, Rubes? I think it is going to be a summer of massive change, and I think it's necessary. I think the City side, you know, I think we have to change. Can we just sign Ruben? Yeah, we've got a Ruben. You know, there we go. Right, Mummy, do you want to go? There we go. Right, I've got to focus on. But anyway, guys, that was just the little update now. Anyway, with you guys, thank you for putting up with me while I do some father duties as the little guy was dumped on me. Ruben and Ronnie Foden, the legend of you. Do you know what? Imagine he gets good at football. Imagine you get good at football and you play with Ronnie Foden, Elway, and El Ray. You're yawning, little man. That'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? Look at that fit. Everyone said he's got drip. He's got drip, you know what I mean? That's what I was saying earlier, that fit, you know, it's incredible.
This is his fit of whatever was in his bag because...
Yeah, but you can pull it off, can't you? There you go, little man. Do you want that? There you go. Right, anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm gonna actually end the video there. Thanks for watching. That's the latest updates. I'll catch you live later if anything else happens. For now, though, I think my piece has just gone live. Let me check over on esteemedcompany.com. Oh yeah, it's been up for a while. It shows how much the web pays attention to. I did a piece here. Go over to my website. It's called "Why Declan Rice Would Be a Perfect Fit for Manchester City Football Club." Here we go. It's a decent long read piece, not too long, but go and check it out if you want to. It's esteemedcompany.com.
Go check it out, or you won't be happy.
Ruben's got on my hair. Ow. You'll see it here. I put a link in the chat. There we go. You'll see it on there. What's he doing with my hair there? Listen to my dad. Listen to my dad. What are you doing, mate? What are you doing to me? Yeah, go check out the piece anyway. It's steamcompany.com. It's a good article, I promise you. Right, guys, in a bit. I love you all loads. Have a wonderful evening. And if anything else happens, ow, don't hit me with I'll go live if I'm allowed to. If this guy let me go. Don't hit me in the head. I'm being abused by my own son. This is the, like, when you say child abuse, you presume it's the other way around. This is child abusing me. Ow, what are you doing to me, mate? Don't break my glasses. Okay. Thanks for this, Rubes. Oh, he's putting back on again. Cheers. Right, anyway, pair of reviews. He's just scratching my beard. Oh, he's the best. I love him so much. Right, anyway, I love you all loads. Ruben does too. And right, we're off. Bye-bye. In a bit.